Hello and welcome to another episode of Battle Ready.
New Toys Edition.
New Toys Edition. So a lot of this information is out there already. I think a lot of people have spoiled a lot of the General's Handbook, the Scourge of Ghyran.
Soggy.
But we don't get stuff in advance.
No, we don't.
We got it today because it came out today.
Yeah.
And I think this will go up on Monday, so we got this 2 days ago. And
there it is.
Here's our reaction to it. So I think a lot of things are already known about it. So we're not breaking any news here. But I think there's a couple things that I think are really interesting. And the first one is actually not in the book. I only knew about it from reading other spoilers, and I couldn't find it in the book. But it's actually an addendum that came out a little bit later. And that is that in the old General's Handbook, if you had more drops, you could choose a second honor guard, which is fine.
We used it once.
No, we used it a couple times.
We just forgot.
But yeah, usually we would forget our honor guard abilities. But it's, it's fine. Now, if you're the higher drops, once per battle, you can re-roll a priority roll. That
is so very strong.
I think it's a lot better. And what do you think about it?
I think it's very happy because I just made a Zogrok's Ironmongers list. It has 5 regiments.
Yeah, so
I physically only barely have enough Iron Jaws models to make a 2,000 point list without using Gordrak.
Yeah, you'll be getting that one.
Pigs.
But I think the interesting thing about it is there should be some tension between regiments, right? Because right now, or at least before this rule, being able to pick who goes first it's very powerful.
Yeah.
It's not game breaking, it's not game winning, but it is powerful. And it helps you decide, if you can set yourself up so that if there's a double turn, you get it, or you get at least the first one, right? That can be a big deal. So you need something to sort of tension it the other way. And having a second honor guard sort of felt like like a pity rule. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh yeah, we recognize you're going to get skunked on this, so we'll give you a little something. So it wasn't bad. It wasn't
poor list building chat.
Yeah, it wasn't a negative, but it didn't change the calculus at all. This one, I think, moves the needle a little bit. I think the tendency is still going to be towards lower drops because choosing who goes first is just very good, right? But choosing who goes first is also, one of the reasons it makes it so good is, like I said, choosing who gets the double. And now, you get that double from 1 into 2, or maybe from 2 into 3, your opponent gets a reroll, right? So that double, making your opponent go first, is a lot less certain. Yeah, it's a lot less certain to get that double. And I'm sure there are going to be times when we had a game not too long ago where I rolled the priority roll and got a 2. And Drake was like, oh, I'm going to double you. And then he rolled and got a 1.
Several times.
No, that only happened with his one priority roll. That happened one time. Maybe it's happened in the past, right? But that happened in our game just recently. And he could have said, oh, reroll time, gotten that 3 up, and taken the double, right? So I do think there's going to be some play there. I don't think it's enough to make you not want to go low drops, but I think it's enough that forcing your list into low drops is some of the pressure's off. It's like, yeah, I would still like to do that if I could, but it's not the end of the world if I don't.
Yeah.
Whereas right now, it sort of feels like, look, you got to be 2 drops. Figure out how to get your guys into 2 drops. Right? Drake's current list is 5 drops, so we'll see what happens with that.
3 of the 5 regiments are 1 hero regiments, no units.
Golly.
Only so that I don't have stupid auxiliaries.
All right.
I made that mistake.
Any other thoughts on that one?
No, I think that's just a good rule change.
I think it is good too. I'm really excited to see how that plays out. And who knows? Maybe if we play it a bunch of times, we'll start going large to try to get that. Right?
No one can beat me.
We'll all be 5 regiments. But I like it. I like that rule change. All right. Next rule change is to command abilities. 2 in particular: all-out attack and all-out defense.
All-out defense.
Both have been nerfed. So all-out defense
fixes 1 fight.
Right now, currently in the well, I guess not currently. We're in Scourge of Ghyran now, but previously, you did it, and for the full phase, you would have your armor save buffed, right? And so that was really good if you had a unit that was going to be attacked multiple times. It was good against shooting armies because you could all out defense your priority target, and then no matter who shot at him or her, you'd have the bonus.
Or it if you're playing orcs.
Or it, if you're playing orc, because they're fungus people, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like bananas.
Bananas are not fungus.
They were.
No,
they reproduced without.
Yeah, but they're not fungus.
Yes, but I'm saying they do something similar to the orcs, where they reproduce with death. And such.
Yeah, that's true, but they're not fungus.
They're similar.
So now it's for an attack. You can all out defense for one attack. So the biggest charge, the cavalry that came into you, that's going to do a ton of damage to you. All right, you do that. But then other people that are picking you off from the sides, you're just going to have to go back to your regular, right? So all out defense is much reduced. And then the other one is all out attack, where it does the same thing. You get +1 attacks, but now you get -1 to save for the rest of the round. So if you go all in on the attack, you better kill what you're going into, or at least just smash them down, because otherwise
you're screwed.
They're going to hit harder on the swing back for sure. What do you think about those?
I think I like that, because before they were just like, oh yeah, I'll just do it.
Yeah, I like both of them. I like both of those changes, because I felt like we all out attacked and all out defensed basically we would save a command point for that purpose basically every round.
Yeah.
Unless we had some kind of master plan or we got an off-turn charge or something. You always save for that. Those are really good. And now they're still good. I think they're still good, but I think they're going to be used a little bit more judiciously, and that'll be good, because that means there's going to be more command points open for Unleash Hell, Covering Fire. It's called Covering Fire. Covering Fire, or for Power Through, or for some of those other ones.
Oh, they changed Power Through.
Oh, what's Power Through now?
You can run away.
It wasn't like that before?
No, you had to stay in combat, I'm pretty sure. But now you can run. You can just go, bonk.
I like that. I mean, you still have to take one attack, right? Because Power Through happens at the end of the turn.
Yeah.
But then you could get out of there. I like that. Something like that would be really good for like chariots and stuff that can't really survive being pinned in.
Get mob. They got fairly high health, and they don't.
That's what I'm saying. Those get mob chariots. I think they would like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as far as all out attack and all out defense go, I think both changes are good. I'm glad that they weakened both of them. And it'll add some tacticalness to it, because either you're going to all out attack something where you think that I'm going to kill or just incredibly cripple them, so I don't have to worry about the swing back, or you're going to all out attack something that's already been attacked, right? They've already been attacked.
Softened up.
So now you can all out attack because they're not going to get attacked again, at least not by the same thing. And so the penalty to save is not going to matter as much, right? I think both of those are good things. Neither one has been nerfed into oblivion, right? I think both of them are going to get used. I'm still going to use them. They're still good. But it takes away a little bit of the automaticity, right? It's not an automatic anymore. What else? What else was among your favorite changes?
Manifestations being fixed.
Okay, so manifestations, that's a good point. I don't think there's that many changes to the manifestations, if any. There might not be any changes.
But they were clarified.
But the book does a good job of just running down the list and saying, okay, here's why manifestations are units. Here's when they're not units. Here's when they count for this. Here's when they count for that. Here's what abilities affect them. Here's what abilities don't. So it's really easy to look down that list and know the interaction. You still have to sort of, if you want to play smooth, right, you still have to sort of learn it and memorize it. But it's way easier than it was before, where the different rules were sort of in different places and there were a lot of questions, and it's way clearer. Yeah. Way clearer. I think the other big change is to
battle tactics.
Obscuring. Oh, we should do battle tactics too. Let's do obscuring terrain first. So obscuring is
staying in front of the force.
Way different. Obscuring before basically said, hey, look, if you can't draw a line from one model to the other without it crossing the obscuring terrain, even if you have true line of sight, right? Even if you could see through a hole or something, you could see them. If it crosses the obscuring terrain,
didn't count.
You can't see them, right? And that makes sense. I like that a lot. The new one has been simplified, but I think, which is good. I like it when it's simplified. And it makes it so that you don't have to have every single model, the bases are really in tight. I like that. The new one is, if you're within an inch. If you're within an inch of obscuring terrain, you're obscured. And I like that. I should say, I like the simplicity of it. but I think it immediately opens itself up to silly situations. Yes, that means you can be in front of the obscuring terrain within an inch, and the guys can't see you. It's like you're in front of the forest. You're in front of the giant wall or whatever.
Nope, skeleton head.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So
also, I like that they changed shooting if you're obscured.
That's true. So now you can't just be obscured as a shooter and shoot out and kill people. If you're if you are obscured, if you're in obscuring terrain,
you're also being obscured.
You if people can't see you, your shooting is halved.
Yeah.
Or the range is halved. So that's good. You can't get out as far from the forest. So I like that. That is good. The 1 inch thing, I feel like they should have said, okay, it's 1 inch, but the terrain has to be between you, or the terrain has to be closer to the other unit than to you. Something they could have. Maybe they didn't do it because I'm already having trouble figuring out how to put that in sort of rules terms. But I do feel like this is going to have people in front of obscuring terrain getting obscuring benefit. And it just, maybe that'll make the game play better, actually, because it'll further reduce shooting. But it's going to make the game be a little bit silly. It's already a simulation, right? It's not perfectly real.
Yeah.
There's already a lot of rules and things are just like, oh, that's just how models are. And I'm fine with it. But that one is, for me, is like
Zine just having fun.
A little too much into gaminess. A step too far away from making it feel like a battle.
Yeah. Zine had a hand in that.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
That just feels so silly that he wanted.
It's a silly thing. It's Zine's just silliness, natural. That's what he's known for. He's known as the god of silliness. I don't know if you knew that.
And for trademarking things.
Mm-hmm.
It's everything. Every demon is of Zinch.
That's true. He does like to put his name on it. So I think
stamp of approval.
That is an interesting change. I'm interested to see how it's going to work. I'm interested to see the effect it's going to have. It seems like it's going to have a pretty big effect.
Yeah.
And it's really going to hurt people like Caradron or high shooting Lumineth or Stormcast or something like that.
Shootcast.
The Shootcast. I don't know. Maybe it's not that big a deal. I think that's one that I'm cautious about. But we're going to have to get into it and sort of see how it works.
I think some guns should have like anti-obscuring, where it turns off obscuring, maybe.
Yeah, something like that would be good, right?
Or something that turns
like
off
the Thunderers who have mortars, right? Because those are supposed to, they're like indirect fire.
Yeah.
Maybe you could have some units with indirect fire that have like a ignores obscuring, or obscuring only means -1 to hit, or something like that.
Or maybe you could have a gun or add a rule that says remove the obscuring trait.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff.
That fixed the Ghyranite places of power that could just pop obscuring.
I think stuff like that is good. Then maybe we'll go that direction. All right, last one that we're going to talk about anyway are the new battle tactics. All right, so we've had the same battle tactic system since 3rd edition.
Yep.
Right? Lots of people were hoping it changed when we went to 4th, and it did not.
No.
It's the exact same thing, right?
Not even one little bit.
Every turn, you get the same 6 battle tactics, although each faction got 2 others, right? So really you get 8, 6 of which are shared.
Destruction was impossible.
But that happened for every single battle plan. So no matter what you were trying to, no matter how you were trying to stand in circles, you always did the same 6, or had the same 6 available to you. And basically, you ended up doing the same
4 or 5.
4, and then the other 2 were, depending on the battle plan, it's like, oh, maybe I can do this one this turn, right? But you had the same like 3 to 4 that were your core you were going to do every time, and then a couple others for like backups.
And then 1 or 2 you just never did.
And then often there was one.
Seize the center.
Yeah, seize the center.
It's ridiculous.
Man, the battle, unless it was very late and everyone was already on the edges or whatever, and you're like, well, I've got a unit, 2 units in the middle. So, but now the battle tactics are totally reworked. Now you don't select them during your hero phase, or actually start a turn. You don't select them start a turn. You select them in list building. There's 6 different tactics. You pick 2 of them, and then when you play, you have them. Which means there's no like, oh, let me look through the battle tactics. Let me see what I can do. Can I do this one? What if he countercharges me? Right? Then you get rid of that whole thing, right? Which is great.
Makes the game
because Drake is better about picking battle tactics quickly. I take forever. I delete it all out, so it looks like I'm going quick. But man, I sit and I think about those battle tactics, and not getting rid of that whole thing is great.
Yeah.
And then each battle tactic tends to be, and without going into all of them in detail and without seeing all of them, it's hard to evaluate which ones exactly are hard or easy or more possible or not.
Scout seems.
But it seems like there's 3 things.
Yep.
The first one says do something that's pretty
doable.
Easy. The second one says do something that's sort of a challenge. And the third one says do something where you have to be mega winning. Right? So
what does have every objective?
Yeah, that's the third one for one of them.
It's like taking objective.
Own every objective on the battlefield. It's like, oh my goodness. You know what? That would have been good for the Vice in the last one, where at the very end, it's only one objective. You're like, I just have to own that one. If I can own that one objective. So I think that what you're going to do is you're going to pick 2, and you're going to pick 2 and sort of move your army so that they can do them. And I think what you're going to be shooting for is to do the first and second level of both of them.
Yeah.
Right? And each level is worth 5 points, so you could get
20 points
15,
from that.
No, 15, right?
15 tactics, so 30 total.
Yeah, so you can get 30 total of battle tactics. So really, you're going to be looking for 20, I think, probably. And then you want to get the 10 points per round. So that means instead of getting 50 points
80.
per round,
80's max.
50. Instead of getting 50 for a perfect game, 80. No one's going to get that, or I should say that should be incredibly rare. Yeah. Right?
The opponent should be trying to get you there.
So why do you like these battle tactics more than the current system, or the old system, I guess now?
They feel a lot like a video game where you have to level up by completing challenges.
Yeah, I do like that. I think you're right. Where each one sort of leads into the next. And so it sort of feels like you're trying to do the third thing, and these are your interim steps, right? Mm-hmm. It's almost like you have a tactic for the whole battle.
What?
Yeah. Unlike the current system, which is just like,
do the thing.
Take the flanks. Oh, and then immediately run away and leave the flanks open. Yeah. It's like, why did I do that again? What happened there?
So that you could surround them.
So I think that is really good. I think the fact you don't have to choose them is really good. And I think the fact that they increase in difficulty is really good. Although, in the current system, Kairos Fate Weaver is a Zinch model. He has a thing where you can change your battle tactic.
What?
Yeah. And so for the new system, he has a thing where you can change your battle tactic. Where you can kick out a battle tactic and bring in one that's not on your list that maybe your opponent hasn't planned for. Because your opponent will know your 2 tactics, right? They'll be like, oh, you're trying to scout. Oh, you're trying to take the objectives. Okay, so I'll set myself up to sort of deny you those points. Mm-hmm. But with Kairos, you can be like, oh, you set yourself up to deny this one? Actually, I was doing this battle tactic. Psych!
That's so mean.
So I think that's really cool. So once we get into it and play, we have played exactly 0 games of this new one.
Yep.
But we will start playing that.
We're playing thousands.
We fantasized. So we'll start playing new ones with our next 2K game. So we can't speak from experience yet, but
we can speak from hope.
Other than the obscuring one, I see everything as a huge benefit. Yes. I see all the changes as good. Yes. The obscuring one's a little bit of a question mark for me. Yeah. We'll see how it feels. And battle tactics will need some exploration before we can get a firm, or at least before I feel like I can get a firm thing. But I am very optimistic about those, and the other 2 seem great, just fantastic. Yeah. So we will continue with our 2K games. I think our next one will be in the Scourge of Ghyran, using the Scourge SOG, the soggy stuff. We're using the soggy stuff. And we'll go from there. So let us know, have you played any Scourge of Ghyran games? And if you have, let us know about those. We're definitely interested to see how these things have actually affected games on the tabletop.
Lucky you.
Let us know what your thoughts. Any final thoughts for you?
We got them.
All right, this has been another episode of Battle Ready.
It's wet.
Thanks so much for watching.